Hello everybody, today I'm bringing you a layout with these 3 photos of my grandson at a local children's museum. And I'm doing something you're not going to see me do very often, which is to use cardstock. Now, in this particular case, you're not going to see a lot of it, but I do use it, so I'm going on the record as saying I did. That cardstock is from the April 2016 cherry pie kit from Scraptastic, and I'm almost done with it, so I'm trying to use it up, the end of it up. So that's why I used it on this layout. So I'm using that, and I'm just going to place these 3 photos about equal across the page at the top there. And then I will use the pattern paper on the bottom that you're going to see there. And I'm trying to remember, I don't remember if I told you the color, but the color, it's American Craft Sunflower, is where that cardstock is from. Now this washi tape is going to give me a bit of a problem here, and that washi tape is actually from October Afternoon. I don't remember what collection it is. It's an older collection, as actually is almost everything with October Afternoon, since they're so bad about putting the collections out. That triangle paper that I have right there is from My Mind's Eye Necessities. It's the Blues collection in the Triangle is the name of the paper, actually. So Necessities is a big kind of collection. I wish they had kept putting that out. I love all the sort of basic things that you can get, and I had a bunch of these triangles in a couple of different colors, a little bit of the navy left, and that was about it. I don't think I have much else left. So I'm going to use that washi tape now as a border, and it says things like happiness, love this, and my favorite. And so I'm popping that down on there, and there's my wet hair in the frame. Okay, so I have that about done. Now that's such a great green washi tape, and I found this card from Ellie's Studio. I think it's Ellie's Studio. I always remember Ellie's. Anyway, Ellie's Studio, and it just came in when I bought some things. She just sent that card as a little freebie, and I love the color of it, so I wanted to get it on a layout because it doesn't like go with any of my other parts of her collection. And right there, I just pulled out my Simple Stories Snap Life Documented Bits and Pieces, and I'm just seeing what I can put on the layout. I was cutting something out from another Ellie's Studio cut apart, but I'm going to not end up using that high 5 there. So I actually don't have that document. I think it was from the Cameron collection, if I remember correctly, from the cut aparts from that. So right there, I'm looking at some Pink Fresh Studios rubber charms, and those aren't going to work. I did pull that little calendar piece there, and that is from, it has dates on it basically. That is from the Snap Life Documented Bits and Pieces. And now I'm looking through my Bella Boulevard chipboard. I have a bunch of these sitting right to my left of my desk because I'm almost through most of them, and I try to add them to layouts whenever I can to get through the pieces. So I grabbed that green star, and that star is from the Bella Boulevard Chow Chip. The Hearts and Stars is the name of that particular one right there. So it did that. And now I went and I grabbed some more of my Simple Stories pieces from that Snap Life Documented collection. I'm looking at the chipboard pieces there, and none of that's actually going to end up on the layout. And again, here I don't have a ton left in that. So that, and I use it a lot on layouts about my grandson because it's a lot of primary colors. I really like it. So there's a lot of stickers left though. These are the icon stickers here. And I found that I'm looking through it. I find that hello word bubble and trying to decide what to do, or speech bubble there, and I am going to put that here. That little heart there is from the Snap Life Documented Bits and Pieces. So I'm playing around with that, trying to find, looking again for anything that I can use from those stickers. just because the colors match so well here. And I decided a lot of times I'll cut the tail off of speech bubbles, but I'm actually going to leave it on this one. The reason being is that in this children's museum, they have a city bus, and it's like a half a city bus, but you know, it has the little lever to make a door work even though there's no doors, and there's a poles and seats, and my grandson was just having a blast, quote, driving the bus. So I just thought it was cute. And that little girl that you see in one of the pictures came on, and he was kind of afraid, and he was like didn't want to talk to her, but he wanted her to sit down. So it was kind of cute, even though he's never taken a bus to my knowledge. So it was funny that he kind of knew what to do. Now I'm going to do something that in the end I kind of regret, but it's done and the layout is done. So we're just moving on. And that is I cut the points off that star. So I try to make this high five work again, just because I think it's kind of cute as I'm dealing with trying to make that star look okay, especially now that I cut it. But you know, it looks fine in the end, and nobody's going to go through my scrapbooks and go, oh my gosh, look at that star, it's so awful. They're going to look at the cute pictures of my grandson and maybe some of the artistry of the layout. So I'm looking at this Echo Park boy collection. I can't remember what it's actually called because I don't use anything. That's my boy, I think. I don't use anything from that collection. So I'm going back through the icon stickers from Life Documented, and I find this car and it says go on it. And even though it's a bus and not a car, I think it's cute. So I'm going to use that right behind that star just to give it another layering effect, another layering dimension there. And now I'm kind of looking for a third piece to put up in that, up by the green star up there. And I find this yellow star. So I like that, and I decide that that's where that's going to go. Now I've grabbed my homemade enamel dots, and I made those from perler beads, and I grabbed the navy ones. So I'll use those to position around the layout. And those navy ones really spread on me. They got kind of big. Well, in the scheme of things, they're kind of big. They're fine, but they flattened out quite a bit. I have yet to try those Nuvo, I think the Nuvo crystal drops. I've got some in my cart at a cherry on top, but haven't placed an order in a while. I had a couple of big orders that I did in late April and early May, and so I've put myself on a sort of spending freeze just because I don't, well, need being a funny word with scrapbook supplies. We never need them, but anyway. So now I'm just going through and I'm using my little glue dots there to put the perler beads on. I think I've talked about this before. Sometimes they are hard to stick with the perler beads because of the plastic, but they do stick. And I use the micro glue dots for those. They work out really great. I think I was just testing to see if I wanted to put another dot, a third dot, because I really only have 2 in each embellishment cluster there, but it's fine. I'm having a hard time finding words today. It's my day off. Maybe that's part of the problem. Now, I know that I want a fairly long title here, and I love these jelly bean soup letters, and I grabbed the larger alpha beans. They are in the banana yellow color, and I'm really going through these, but they're great. They're a great size. They're perfect for titles and subtitles depending on how big you want them to be. So I'm just kind of looking, am I going to have enough of the letters to be able to make the title that I want to make? And the title that I'm going to do here is Please Get on the Bus, Ma'am. So, and of course, the title comes from what I think my grandson was thinking because he wasn't actually talking. It was kind of cute here. So you'll get to see me go through and stick these all to my wax paper, just like a la Mercy Tiara. When I saw her do that the first time, I thought, genius, because it's so easy to line things up. And if you don't like the way they line up the first time, you just cut the wax paper apart and you can move things around. I admire people who can just put a title on and not use this. I watch Sarah Swan all the time on YouTube, and she just pops her titles down and rarely does she ever have to pick them back up. I personally can't do it. So I think I'm a little bit more anal about it is part of the problem. So that's that. So I mentioned that the cardstock is from the April 2016 Scraptastic Cherry Pie kit, and I actually won that kit on the Victoria Marie Facebook group back in January. Victoria Marie did a challenge, and I don't remember exactly what it was, if it was to scrap about a goal or something like that. And what I did is I choose a word every year, and I submitted my layout that I did for that word, because I don't set goals per se, but I use that word as kind of my focus throughout the whole year. And I ended up winning the prize, which was a Scraptastic kit. And then apparently Scraptastic had a lot of problems with their website. And poor Victoria, I think she ordered a kit for me 2 or 3 times. I think it was 3 times in all seriousness before she finally got one to come. But I was really excited because I've wanted to try a kit club and wasn't sure if that would, if I'd like it or not. And I did. One of the things I found out with this particular month is there weren't enough faux solids in there for me. There was a lot of very patterned paper, but I use, most layouts I'll use probably at least 2 or 3 pattern papers, this one being an exception because I actually use cardstock behind. But so I need a lot of faux solids, because if a design is busy, that is really, you need some solids to break it up, or faux solids to break it up. So I did find that I added some things from my own stash, which is fine because that's another way to get some more layouts out of a kit itself. And since I'm not working for Scraptastic, I can do that. Well, actually I could do it anyway, but I definitely do that when I'll be working with even paper collections sometimes. So as I'm sticking these down, obviously I'm using Time Up, but I really did like working with the kit. This one was pretty bright, and I challenged myself to use all 3 pieces of the cardstock, which I actually did. I've used all 3 pieces of that, and I think I only have 1 piece of the paper left, so that I will be using up pretty quickly too. So what I've decided to do is I'd like to choose another, subscribe for one, or not subscribe, but get a kit one other month just to see. I think that by having a kit, it might cut down on some of my spending, because you get the newest products in it and you get tastes of collections that you like. Like this particular kit had some of the Fancy Free collection in by Paige Taylor Evans. So it's a nice way to get a taste of things without buying the whole collection. And then if you really like it, if you really want to do the collection, you can do that too. But it's just, and it's all coordinated for you. So that makes it easy too. The other thing I liked about this kit is there were lots of embellishments, although things I don't normally use, like clear stickers, but I managed to use those too. And you'll see that I have a Crafty Maven video, or it's probably already up by the time you're going to see this, where I used quite a bit from that kit and challenged myself to use clear stickers. So back to the layout there. I did pop a few things up on my Scotch foam tape, my big roll. I actually just ordered another one from Amazon because I'm almost through the one I have. And now I'm going to just journal on that card, and you'll see the still shot and a couple of detail shots coming up. Hope you are all well, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!